Have you ever felt like there's a never-ending war being fought inside your mind? A battle between your deep desire to be happy, peaceful, and content on one side, and on the other, a constant barrage of negative emotions. Worry, sadness, disappointment, or even anger. You try to get through it, telling yourself everything will be okay, or just be positive. You scroll through social media and see everyone else living these vibrant, successful lives. And you can't help but wonder, why can't I be like that? Am I doing something wrong? If you've ever had thoughts like these, I want you to know you are far from alone. The World Health Organization has published some truly startling numbers. On average, 1 in every 10 adults experiences depression each year. 1 in 5 of us will endure it at some point. More than a third of the adult population will suffer from an anxiety disorder. And even more shockingly, nearly half of us will contemplate suicide at some point, wrestling with that thought for weeks or more. These aren't just dry statistics. Behind them are billions of stories, billions of silent struggles. They reveal a stark truth. Pursuing happiness seems to be backfiring for modern humans. The harder we try to be happy, the deeper we seem to sink into suffering. Why does this paradox exist? Is it possible that we fundamentally misunderstood happiness? Could it be that we've unknowingly walked right into a sophisticated trap named happiness? Because of these questions, I want to take you on a deep dive into a book that could completely change the way you see your life. A book translated into over 30 languages, sold more than 1 million copies, and is considered a revolution in psychology. That book is The Happiness Trap by Dr. Russ Harris. In today's video, we're not just summarizing a book, we're going on a journey to explore our own minds. Together, we're going to decode why we feel the way we do, expose the flawed strategies we've all been using, and most importantly, discover a new path. A path not of escaping sadness, but of living a full and meaningful life, even with it. So let's begin. Before finding the way out, we need to understand where we're stuck and why. The happiness trap points out that the problem isn't you. You are not broken or weak. The problem is that we are all equipped with a brain that wasn't designed for the modern world. Let's travel back in time together, hundreds of thousands of years ago, to the Stone Age. Our ancestors lived in a world teeming with danger. A rustle in the bushes could be a saber-toothed tiger. A strange fruit on a tree could be deadly poison. To survive, their brains had to develop a superior mechanism, the ability to predict and avoid danger. It was like a 24/7 scanning machine, constantly looking for what could go wrong, for anything that might threaten their lives. The individuals with brains most cautious and anxious were the ones most likely to survive and pass on their genes. And we, the people of the 21st century, are the heirs to that very brain. The only thing is, the world has changed. Saber-toothed tigers are extinct, but that danger prediction machine in our heads is still running at full capacity. The threats it scans for now are just different. My boss didn't seem happy with my report. Am I going to get fired? My photo didn't get many likes. Do people not like me? What if I say something stupid in front of everyone? What if I grow old alone? Our brain, in its well-intentioned effort to protect us, has become a relentless anxiety-producing machine. It churns out thousands of terrible scenarios, 99% of which will never happen. It keeps us so busy with our worries that we forget how to enjoy a sunny afternoon or a fragrant cup of coffee. This is the first ancestral legacy that makes us prone to unhappiness. But that's not all. The modern world has given us another gift, a giant yardstick called global connectivity. In the past, our comparisons were limited to our village or neighborhood. Now, with a single swipe, we're comparing our ordinary homes to lavish mansions, our office jobs to the world-traveling adventures of bloggers, and our bodies to models who have been through countless filters and edits. This limitless comparison creates immense pressure, a feeling of inadequacy, of never being enough. Every moment of satisfaction becomes fragile because it instantly becomes the starting point for a new race, a new form of suffering. On top of that foundation, society drills into our heads some deeply flawed beliefs and deadly myths about happiness. Myth number 1. Happiness is the default state. If you're not happy, you're defective. We're taught that a normal person is happy and optimistic. Those who struggle with depression or anxiety are seen as weak, as having something wrong with them. Because of this stigma, we judge ourselves harshly. When we feel sad, we feel ashamed. We try to hide it, burying ourselves in despair, isolating ourselves, and making the pain even deeper. Myth number 2 is the most subtle trap. To have a good life, we must get rid of all negative feelings. We believe that happiness and suffering are mortal enemies. To have happiness, we must destroy pain. This belief turns our lives into a battlefield. We spend our entire lives avoiding, suppressing, and fighting against anxiety, sadness, and disappointment. But have you ever asked yourself what a life without any low points would look like? The Buddha famously said, "Life is suffering." The psychologist Carl Jung affirmed this. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness. And the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. Life is like a heart rate monitor. It needs ups and downs, the peaks of joy and satisfaction, and the troughs of loneliness, pain, and helplessness. What does a flat line on a heart monitor mean? It's the end. Therefore, to be alive is to face suffering. Our refusal to accept this fact, our war against pain, is the reason we can't live happily. You might be having your first aha moment. The enemy isn't sadness, but our fight with it. So, what does that fight look like? Let's move on to part 3. When difficult feelings like anxiety, sadness, or anger show up, our minds usually default to one of 2 main coping modes. See if you recognize yourself in either of these. Extreme number 1, compliance. In this mode, you are completely swept away by the emotional storm. You fuse with it, letting it dictate your every action. Imagine you've just had a heated argument with a loved one. Feelings of anger and hurt flare up. If you fall into compliance mode, what do? Maybe you yell or slam doors, or you retreat to your bed and let a torrent of resentful thoughts swirl in your head for hours. Why would they treat me like that? It's so unfair. Or when you feel lonely and empty, you might chase fleeting pleasures, drink to forget, or jump into toxic relationships just to fill the void. You're letting your emotions lead the way. Usually, they lead you to even darker places. You lose connection with the present, feel drained of energy, and become a victim of your own feelings. Extreme number 2, struggle. This mode seems more positive and strong, and it's the trap that many of us fall into the hardest. Here, you treat negative feelings as the enemy and try everything to fight them. You use strategies like avoidance. You skip parties because you're afraid of feeling awkward. You procrastinate on an important project because you're afraid of failure. You don't dare to start a new relationship because you're afraid of getting hurt again. Suppression. You try to swallow your anger, putting on a brave face and saying, "I'm fine," while you're crumbling inside. You tell yourself, "There's nothing to be sad about," or "Strong men or women don't cry." Distraction. When sadness appears, you immediately grab your phone to scroll through social media, watch a movie, play a game, or bury yourself in work. Anything to avoid facing that feeling. You wear the mask of a cheerful clown, always trying to be funny and optimistic, while hiding the silent tears within. You think you're in control of your mind? But what's the reality? Dr. Russ Harris offers a priceless metaphor, an image that might be your biggest aha moment yet. He says that trying to suppress negative feelings is like trying to push a beach ball underwater. Just imagine it. You use all your strength to hold the ball down. Does it stay under? Yes, but how do you feel? You're exhausted. You can't do anything else because both your hands are busy. You can't enjoy the beautiful lake because your entire focus is on keeping that ball from popping up. And what happens sooner or later, when your arms get tired and you lose focus for just a second? Whoosh! The ball explodes out of the water with more force than ever and smacks you right in the face. That is exactly what happens when we struggle with our emotions. We expend enormous energy suppressing them. This suppression leaves us tired, stressed, and disconnected from life. And eventually, those bottled-up emotions will find a way to erupt in the form of panic attacks, depressive episodes, or even physical illnesses. Both extremes, compliance and struggle, are dead ends. They both push us deeper into the cycle of psychological distress. So if we don't comply and we don't struggle, what are we supposed to do? How can we survive if we can't win the war or chase away the storm? The answer lies in a revolution in thinking, a method backed by over 3,000 scientific studies. Let's step into the most important part of our journey today, the escape route called ACT. ACT stands for Acceptance and Commitment Therapy. The name itself reveals a completely different philosophy. It doesn't promise to eliminate your pain. It's not a magic pill that will make you happy forever. Instead, ACT gives you a set of skills, a toolkit that allows you to live a rich, full, and meaningful life, even when pain is present. Many readers around the world have shared that what they love most about the happiness trap is that it doesn't preach empty platitudes like "just think positive." Instead, it's incredibly practical. It acknowledges that life involves suffering and that negative thoughts are normal. Then, it shows us how to make room for them instead of fighting them. ACT is built on two main pillars: acceptance and commitment. We're going to break down each pillar carefully. Get ready, because this is where we learn how to steer our ship through the storm. Acceptance here doesn't mean resignation or giving up. It doesn't mean you have to like your pain. Acceptance is an active, courageous act. It's about opening up and making room for difficult thoughts and feelings to come and go naturally, without getting swept away or struggling against them. Accepting your thoughts, unhooking from the storytelling machine. The first step is to understand this: you are not your thoughts. Your mind is a magnificent storytelling machine. It produces thousands of thoughts every day. Some are happy stories, some are sad stories, some are judgmental stories, and some are worrying stories. You can't turn this machine off, like you can't ask your heart to stop beating. The problem arises when we fuse with these stories. We believe they are 100% true. When the mind says, "I'm a failure," we instantly believe we are a failure. ACT teaches us a skill called diffusion. It's the art of taking a step back and watching your thoughts as if they were clouds passing in the sky or cars driving down the street. You are the sky, not the cloud. You are the observer, not the car. How can you practice this? The Happiness Trap offers many simple yet effective techniques. 1. Label your thoughts. Instead of getting caught in the thought, "I'll never be able to do this," take a step back and tell yourself, "I'm having a thought that I'll never be able to do this." Or even simpler, there's the "I'm so useless" story again. This small change in language creates a space, helping you see it as just a mental event, not your essential nature. 2. Thank your mind. Remember, your mind is just trying to help, however clumsily. When it offers a worried thought, try saying, "Thanks, mind, for reminding me of that possibility. I appreciate you looking out for me." This is like patting a worried child on the head instead of scolding them. The confrontation disappears. 3. Silly voices. Take a negative thought that haunts you. For example, "I'm a boring person," and try singing it to the tune of "Happy Birthday." Or imagine the sentence being read in the voice of a cartoon character, like Donald Duck. The humor instantly reduces the weight and believability of the thought. The goal of these techniques isn't to get rid of the thought, but to strip away its power so it no longer controls your behavior. Accepting your feelings. How to drop anchor in a storm. So what about intense emotions that feel like a hurricane? When do you feel anxiety twisting your stomach, or sadness so heavy you can barely breathe? This is where ACT introduces a powerful technique called dropping anchor. Imagine you're in a boat in the middle of the ocean and a storm hits. The waves are huge and the wind is fierce. You can't control the storm. Trying to fight it is useless. The only thing you can do to keep from being washed away is to drop anchor. The anchor holds you steady in one place while the storm rages around you. The dropping anchor technique has 3 steps, summarized by the acronym ACE. A. Acknowledge. Silently and gently acknowledge what's happening inside you. Name the thoughts and feelings. This is anxiety. This is anger. My mind is telling a story about failure. Notice, you're just naming and observing, not judging. C. Connect with your body. Now bring your attention to your body. Feel your feet on the floor. Gently move your fingers and toes. Notice the air as you breathe in and out. Notice the physical sensations the emotion is creating. Is your stomach tight? Is your heart racing? Are your shoulders tense? Just notice them as pure energy, neither good nor bad. Connecting with your body pulls you back into the present moment, like an anchor digging into the seabed. E. Engage with the outside world. Finally, expand your awareness of the world around you. What sounds can you hear? The hum of a fan? Traffic outside? What can you see? The color of the wall? The light through the window? What can you smell? Fully engage in one activity you are doing, whether it's washing dishes, typing, or talking. Let's do a mini practice right now. Whatever you're doing, just pause for a moment. Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice 3 things you can see right in front of you. Listen for 2 sounds you can hear, and notice 1 sensation in your body. Maybe your clothes touching your skin. See that? You successfully dropped anchor in just a few seconds, bringing your mind back to the present. This technique doesn't make the storm disappear, but helps you find a stable center within it. It gives you the space to choose your next action wisely instead of reacting blindly. Acceptance is the first step to freeing yourself. But for life to be truly meaningful, we need the second step, and that is commitment. Commitment is about action, but not just any random or impulsive action. Commitment in ACT is about taking purposeful action and moving toward what truly matters to you, the person you want to be. This is where we learn how to weather the storm and set our sails and navigate toward our own personal lighthouse. This commitment is expressed in 3 ways. A commitment to self-kindness and compassion. There's a strange thing we do. What do we say to them when a close friend fails or is in pain? Probably things like, "It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. You did your best. And you should get some rest." We offer them sympathy, forgiveness, and comfort. But when we fail, what do we say to ourselves? "You idiot. How could you mess up something so simple? I'm so useless. I'll never get any better." we become our own harshest critics. The first and most fundamental commitment is to treat yourself with that same kindness. The psychologist Dr. Kristin Neff, a leading expert on self-compassion, points out that self-kindness isn't self-indulgence or self-pity. It's recognizing that to be human is to be imperfect and to experience suffering. So the next time you feel down, pause and ask yourself, if my dearest friend were in this situation, what would I say to them? And then offer those same words to yourself. A commitment to your core values. This is perhaps the most deeply transformative part of ACT. Ask yourself, what truly matters to you deep in your heart? What kind of person do you want to be? How do you want to treat yourself, others, and the world around you? The answers to these questions are your values. Values are not goals. This is a critically important light bulb moment. Goals are things you want to achieve in the future. Buy a house, get a promotion, lose 10 pounds. Goals can be completed or not. Values are qualities you want to express in your actions in every moment. They're like a compass, always pointing you in your chosen direction. For example, goal, to get married. Value, to be a loving, caring, and honest partner. Goal, to earn $1 million. Value, to be hardworking, creative, and honest. Do you see the difference? You may not be married yet, but you can act like a loving person toward your family and friends right now. You may not have earned $1 million, but you can be hardworking and honest right now. Your values are completely within your control. They are an infinite source of motivation, the lighthouse that guides you through the darkest nights. Viktor Frankl, the psychologist who survived the Holocaust, wrote in his classic book, Man's Search for Meaning, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Even in a concentration camp where death was a constant presence, he lived by his values, the value of helpfulness. He constantly found ways to support other prisoners, to find meaning and a reason to go on. So what are your values? Perhaps it's creativity, courage, authenticity, kindness, learning, or adventure. Take some time after this video to reflect on which direction your inner compass is pointing. Because when you act based on your values, your life will always have meaning, regardless of the outcome. A commitment to the present moment. You have acceptance. You have your compass of values. So, where do you go? The answer is, you go right here, in every step you take in the present moment. The great novelist Leo Tolstoy once wrote, "There is only one time that is important, now. It is the most important time because it is the only time when we have any power. The past is gone. The future hasn't arrived. Your life is not a series of days, but a series of now, moments strung together. To live a meaningful life is to live fully in each moment. This is the art of mindfulness." Think back to the story of the two boys on a road trip. The first boy kept asking, "Are we there yet? I'm so bored." He was completely focused on the destination. The second boy, however, was fascinated by everything outside the window, the sheep, the giant trucks, and he happily waved at people passing by. Let's say the car broke down and they never reached their destination. Which boy would be more disappointed? The first one, of course, was because he had wagered all his happiness at the destination. Though a bit disappointed, the second boy had already found joy throughout the journey. How many of us are living like that first boy? I'll be happy when I lose weight. I'll be happy when I find a better job. My life will have meaning when I find a partner. We are constantly postponing life, postponing happiness. A commitment to the present is a promise to live like the second boy. Let your values guide you, and let your whole being be immersed in everything you do. Tasting the flavor of your food, truly listening to a friend's story, feeling your feet on the ground as you walk. Because happiness is not a destination at the end of the road. Happiness is the road itself. My dear friends, we have journeyed far and deeply with the happiness trap. We've exposed the subtle trap that we and our society have created. We've recognized the futility of our war against pain. And most importantly, we've found an escape route, a new path called ACT, Acceptance and Commitment Therapy. Let's quickly recap the map out of this trap. 1. Stop the struggle. Recognize that both complying with and fighting your negative feelings only keeps you tired and stuck. 2. Practice acceptance. Open up and make room for your thoughts and feelings. Use diffusion techniques to watch your thoughts and drop anchor to stay steady in an emotional storm. Remember, you are so much bigger than your thoughts and feelings. 3. Live with commitment. Be kind to yourself. Identify your core values, your life's lighthouse, and act on those values in each and every present moment. This book is not a magic wand. It's a training course. It requires practice, patience, and courage. But it promises a priceless reward. Not a life free from sadness, but a life that is rich, free, and truly worth living. A life where you are no longer a slave to your mind, but the captain of your own ship, bravely navigating through any storm towards your own lighthouse of meaning. And now, I would love to hear your story. What's the biggest happiness trap you've ever been caught in or are currently in? And after listening today, was there an aha moment that lit up for you? Please share in the comments below. Let's learn from and support each other on this journey. If you found this video valuable and think it could help someone you know, please don't hesitate to share it. And of course, if you're new to Booksmart Insights and you enjoy this kind of self-exploration through books, please show your support with a like and hit that subscribe button, along with the notification bell, so you won't miss our next journey into knowledge. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. I wish you a journey filled with meaning and deep inner peace. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.